Yo, what's up everyone? So, just editing through some clips from my session a few days back where I finally focused on doing a good roundhouse cutback. Now, there's many people online that say it's one of the most fundamental maneuvers of surfing and that it's a move that will get you very good very quick, just based on the principles of it. And I never really gave it that much importance, if I'm honest, because when I watch competitions and that, like seeing people do big old snaps and throwing loads of spray, it's always seemed way more appealing to me. Although I do like it when people go really far ahead of the pocket and then, especially on twin fins, like hold that turn the whole way around. But I never really gave it too much focus. That was never anything I was really super focused on because every time that I tried it, I found it pretty hard, and up until recently, a moderate intermediate surfer, I just thought that it was more fun to like just pop up, nice mid-face bottom turn, high line, make the section, go back down, and to me that felt like good surfing. But recently I put my GoPro back on because I figured that I knew I was at a point in my surfing where 2.5 years in, it'd be very easy for me to plateau if I didn't do the right thing, which hasn't happened yet, and it still definitely hasn't happened after this. But yeah, I felt that was by doing that turn and in my head throwing loads of spray, because that's what every surfer wants to do, I could actually start to learn to engage the rail more on the hillside when I'm at the top of the wave going frontside. So if you're goofy, that would be your hillside edge when you're at the top of the wave going left, and then for us regular footers, it's when you get to the top of the wave going right. The main difference between like a beginner to moderate, intermediate, and obviously an advanced, expert, pro, whatever we want to call it, is how those guys basically go deeper off the bottom, which in time gives them more of an angle, and that means that the only way they can stay in the wave is by transitioning very well from the toe side edge that holds them at the bottom of the wave to the hillside edge on the top, the hillside rail. And then doing that at the right time with the right amount of speed and angle and all that sort of stuff, that basically leads to a very good top turn, which in my head was always a snap, but realistically it does make sense. Like by doing this snappy round cutback thing, you learn to engage the rail through the whole turn, and you become a lot more comfortable with what that feels like. Because the difference between a normal cutback and a roundhouse is that on a normal cutback, let's go to this wave. I've already kind of done a rough edit, but I need to go through it again. Be up in the next few days. But yeah, so with this, which is more of a normal cutback, as you can see, I'm doing a great job. Like I said, like 2.5 years in on a 32 litre shortboard, which is actually like, this board's quite over volumed for me. It's a Christensen lane splitter, but this wave that I surf a lot here in Mexico, it's quite mushy and it doesn't really have like a steep hollow face. So although I can surf a 27, even a 26 litre board here, I've got a Mayhem Roundnose Fish, a 5.3, and I can surf that here, but I don't have as much fun, and oftentimes I'll get into the wave easy and all of that, but I just won't be able to do this type of surfing, whereas with this, like this was an easy wave, like literally 4 paddles and I'm up, and then because it's a twin fin and it's so thinned out towards the tail, like on the tail it's like my other shortboards, but then it's got a lot of volume right under the chest. It's a really, really, really cool board, really recommend it. But yeah, in doing so, it has the volume, but it stays really lively and allows me to go rail to rail and have like more of a skateboarder flow, which is obviously something I did a lot of growing up. But yeah, anyway, so the difference between a normal cutback and a roundhouse is a normal cutback, you're basically just almost going in one direction. You never fully turn back on yourself. There might be a second when the fins drift and you redirect back to the pocket. But the way to actually do a roundhouse, which, don't get me wrong, I'm still 80% there, but realistically, a real roundhouse, what you're doing is, the difference is you're waiting for a very mellow part of the wave. As you can see here, the wave's starting to really like mellow out. There isn't much going on. So I know that if after doing this floater as well, if I keep going to try and do another snap, I'm gonna have to pump all the way down to that next section, which could get steep. I could do like a closeout snap on it, but instead, after having surfed that wave as well as I did, which at the time, like, this is probably one of the best waves of my life, super happy I got it on film. I didn't really need to, and I remembered that the whole aim of the video was a roundhouse cutback, and there's no better section than that. With the wave tapering off, getting really mellow, what you do is, after doing the bottom turn, which, if you notice, compared to this one here, look at how much more this board goes up the wave before turning. So again, I still have a lot of work to do. I'm not really there where I want to be yet. But here the board's facing a lot more up the wave, and that's why I had to go to there. Whereas with this one, the board actually faces way more down the line. It's not there is no real top of the wave, but even so, it's still facing further out into the flats. And then by holding the rail, what I actually do is I go back down the wave. Sorry, I'm pointing with my fingers. I don't know why I'm doing that. So I'm gonna go back down the wave and then reconnect from here, and then basically loop back into the oncoming section of the wave. Now, my mistake that I'm seeing here is I've not got enough weight on my front foot on the way down, and there has been a guy on social media who's been saying this, that surfing's a lot more front-footed than you think. And coming from skateboarding, it's something I instinctively don't really do, and there's a period of my surfing where I did, but what the difference that would have made is, you can see like that board, like this, look at this little drop of water right there on the board. That does not change for the whole of that top turn. So what that's saying to me is, basically, if this board was more in the water, if it was in the water around here, there would be water splashing on that tip, on that nose.
Okay, Anton from the future here in the editing room. Now, after I put all these clips on the timeline, I really did notice that it was exactly what I'm saying. Like, look at how close the water is to the nose of her board compared to mine. I've used Katie a lot in this video because the technique on this is just incredible. But also you've got Joel here, and you can see exactly the same thing. As soon as he turns around, look how deep that board goes in the water compared to mine.
Washing that off, and there isn't. And what that basically means is there's not enough board in the water, so I'm losing speed. I'm not going down as much as I am going around, you see. And by doing so, yeah, I got to the right point, but that basically meant that when I reconnected with the wave, instead of doing what I should have done, which is engaging more of the rail, which in turn would draw a longer arc, probably take me out to about here. If you can see, it would have took probably less time because I would have gone a lot more faster. Here, the reason the wave catches up with me is because by being back-footed, I'm braking myself. I'm slowing myself down. So yeah, it's great maneuver-wise, but I actually lost speed. Like, let me watch it in real time. It's actually in slow motion here. You can see I'm not going that fast. It's just that the great thing I'm doing is I'm staying on the rail very well the whole way throughout the turn. Something that's very easy on this board because of the way the rails are shaped and concave and the V throughout the fins and that sort of thing. Again, if you want me to do more videos on this sort of stuff, let me know, because I've been accumulating a lot of knowledge about what works and what doesn't for me. But yeah, there's a few little mistakes here which basically stopped my cutback from being one of these ones. And yeah, honestly, like I said, I'm still very happy with it. But the main reason this has been so important for me is now, like after here, every session I've had since, which this was 3 days ago, yesterday I surfed and the day before I surfed as well. Every session since then, this maneuver's been even easier. Like I can go, I'll just jump onto my SD card real quick. So yeah, so what this meant is the next session, literally the next day, this was a lot bigger as well. I was able to do a natural roundhouse and hold it and keep the wave going. So if you notice here, little turns take me to the bottom, and then yeah, hit the white water and actually stayed with the wave. And yesterday as well, I did another few really good cutbacks, and it's just been a game changer because it's gave me an opportunity to keep more speed. Whereas a lot of the times that if I hadn't done that maneuver and I'm stuck here, I'm gonna end up stalling because there isn't much wave in front of me, and everyone surfing the wave wants to stay on the wave. So instead you find yourself kind of just surfing on the back foot, not really knowing what to do, whether it's conscious or subconscious, you're just trying to slow yourself down. Whereas by doing this, it gives you an opportunity, one, to stay on your rail and to learn what it really feels like to connect the hillside rail. And again, you can see with my front arm here, like I'm still very tentative. I need to work on the actual, rather than dragging this arm down, which is what I'm doing. When I surf tomorrow, I want to actually work on extending it a bit more over and down and actually looking at it to start with. Whereas my body right now is kind of like this. I'm like, because I know I'm doing it, but you can just see by the way my hands like kind of shaky and weird. See there, I'm like, I don't want to touch. I don't touch the water. It's something I don't really do. But by me not wanting to touch the water, it's just another weird variable that isn't consistent in telling the body exactly what I need to do. Whereas if I was a good surfer, again, another clip. Not that I'm a bad surfer, but if I was a better surfer, there's so much more going on, and it kind of starts with the head, and why wouldn't they push their body through more of the time? Because the whole reason of surfing this way is to, one, have loads of fun, but two, to really maximize the amount of speed that you can generate on a wave with the energy and the size and the gravity because of that it's providing you. So yeah, like again, I'm super happy. This is way better than I was doing like 3 days ago. 3 days ago, I'd never done a proper cutback like this. And there's definitely more work to be done. Like watching these videos back again and again, it's been amazing because I can actually see things in a first person point of view. Although realistically, these waves are a lot bigger than it seems because of the angle of view of the camera. There's just something really special about actually seeing what I saw in that moment and what else I could have done. Like right here, this was an air section, and I got to it slightly late, but when it happened, I had no idea why I fell off the board. But realistically, that's because right here when I'm turning, I should already be coming up to the top of that wave, and if not, I should have been heading further down. I'm going to do a really good breakdown over the next few weeks of what to actually do in regards to looking at sections to hit and that sort of thing, because there's some real insights I've just figured out. But again, like that whole wave was, you can see it down here. I would not have made it all the way to there. It's literally impossible. But what I could have done is probably, instead of coming up here, which is something I'm very good at, is like super shallow bottom turns that don't really do anything. If I just kept going straight like this, the wave would have built up more, and then like right around here, which would have been just as easy because I had the speed. Instead, I took all the speed away by going uphill, so I literally removed my speed, and in doing so, that stopped my trajectory and stopped how far I could go down the wave. Ethan Ewing or someone, they definitely would have just kept going straight like this, held their turn, and then gone straight up there and gone for one of these two sections. So yeah, it's like working out what to do or when to do it is the hardest part of surfing. It's very different to skateboarding in that aspect because the wave is obviously moving. But for you guys that are wanting to try and cut back, I took some screenshots of that wave the day before, that one that I just showed you, so that you can see what I was looking for down the line to actually want to do at that moment. Like these two is just too steep. Like here, there's so much water in front of me that is about to break. If I go back to here, this is right from the beginning of the wave, right here. So I can see just from that steepness that that's going to break. If I did a cut back there, I would have for sure lost the wave. There's too much steepness in front of me. This is why when everyone says it, they say look for a mellow section, and it's because you actually need that. Here, again, I go down so I can stay with the power of the wave. But what you really want to look at is try and find that area where the wave properly mellows out. So here, you now understand why it's a no-go. I don't even need to draw on that one. Here, again, let me just go right here to draw. So this is the top of the wave. And we could say the bottom is actually kind of there. Okay, yeah, that's pretty accurate. To be honest, here it's actually probably going out a bit further. Oh, yeah, sorry guys, I'm getting used to this. This is a rough approximation. But the main thing I want you to look is if you were to draw a line down here saying this is the midpoint of the wave, there's just, you really want this angle here to be a lot less closer than horizon level. Like this is almost at horizon level. What you really want is this. Look, so right here you can actually see, like, don't get me wrong, there's a wave there and it would have connected, but right at this time where I do the cutback, the top of the wave looks like it's literally doing this. See? That is what you want for a roundhouse cutback. Again, the bottom of the wave's probably like right around there, and then the midpoint is somewhere here. And it's completely different. What this says to me is a lack of angle and a lack of steepness. So if I do the wrong thing, if I keep going down that line, I'm gonna either lose the wave or I'm just not gonna have any speed and I'm gonna be stalling or like chop hopping, not chop hopping, but like hopping and doing weird things and trying to stay with the wave. And instead, now that I've done a few cutbacks, it's like, why would I not, after this amazing floater, which is, I think it's maybe the third one I've ever done at the point, why would I not draw a line more like this? That's the motion that actually happens. So obviously to start, you're gonna have to go down to the bottom. You can't start a roundhouse from the top of the wave. Any turn in surfing you should be anticipating one turn ahead. At least that's what I'm finding is working. So I'm gonna be looking at here as that's the next point I wanna hit, or maybe even slightly further. But to do that, I know that I have to go down. Depending on how long I know I have, I'll either go further down to the bottom, or I'll do a shallower bottom turn, which means that I won't go down as deep. I would say this is the surface level, shallow, deep. That's why surfers say that. So I'll do a shallower bottom turn, which in turn, obviously with this one, I would be coming a lot more vertical off that. I'd be coming more like this here, you see? Whereas with the shallower one, that's going to allow me to carry a lot more speed and momentum and travel down so that I can engage the rail for longer, and then in turn hold it Obviously this wave right here, I'm again, hate to say it, but this is a floater, which I'm really happy about. But what that's gonna do is this part of the wave, the reason I'm on a floater is I'm above a section right now. So that is gonna break. So by the time I get to here, I'm anticipating that this breaking lump of water will have kept moving to about here. Oh, I should have used different colors for that bit. Let's change. So yeah, what I'm anticipating is all this white water. I'm gonna use a pen next time, it's way easier to write with. This white water is gonna move to about here, let's say. Because I'm traveling faster than the wave is at the moment, it's a fairly slow wave. So by doing that, what happens in the end is everything will connect in the last part of the turn, and then the white water itself, with the way it ricochets, will push my board around the last bit. Now, I'm probably going to do another deep dive into the roundhouse because I am figuring a lot out. But this part here, which again I'll put in the video, once we get, after the arm goes down, this part here is the same as a backhand, if I'm going left, let's say, a backhand bottom turn and top turn. So this is why it's very important to surf both directions, because the main reason I'm more comfortable in doing this maneuver now, the only real thing that's changed is I've been mainly surfing left for the last month because I knew it was something I needed to work on, and by doing that it's basically meant that all this has become a lot easier, because any turn that's hillside, like this right here, is just the same as a backside bottom turn, as you can see. And I've finally got the backside bottom turn pretty dialed. So all of these maneuvers, all this like top turny stuff, like even the floater, like that maneuver there, this to an extent, like it's all stemming from the fact that I've become a lot more comfortable going backhand. And by going backhand, that means my first turn is now the one where I engage in the hillside rail, which is the scary one because you're falling over your back. And by being more comfortable with that, I can then do that at the top of a wave on the stance that everyone likes to surf, which is your forehand. So yeah, it's probably the deepest dive I'm gonna do on a video, and it is very subjective. Like all this stuff that I'm talking about, it's all things I'm learning as I go. So take it with a grain of salt. Some of it may be slightly wrong. This is all stuff I'm learning in my own experience as a surfer who's only really just getting into it. I've only been surfing 2 years and a bit, but I've been very focused. You know, I grew up skateboarding and mainly scootering actually. Maybe some scooter clips here.
Breakthrough what I wanna make, do take two when I'm thinking of you, sway loose when I'm sinking a boost, two-way thinking of blue places that I'm gonna take you like. Breakthrough what I wanna make, do take two when I'm thinking of you, sway loose when I'm sinking a boost, two-way thinking of blue places that I'm gonna take you like. Corona and sick, too lit, tryna flow like Frizz. I'm licked off in a rave, smoking spliffs. Last one in a place, she bait, she rolling hips. That man, I wanna flow like this. Gal, I wanna roll and twist. More time when I'm lean up, rolling lit. More time when I'm lean up, rolling. Late night is future, I'm tryna make mine. Dreaming up in the daytime, nice one in the downsides on the waistline. I want it now, but I wanna take time. More debts, yeah, I gotta pay mine. Big zoo and a 10-day line.
I also learned BMX.
Wow!
And I was a fast runner as well, and in learning all these different like disciplines, it's basically given me a very unique blueprint on how to improve at sports and not plateau and stay psyched and excited and reach this fun point as quick as possible. And that's very much what I'm going to be sharing on this channel, is ways and methods that you can all use so that when you surf, you're basically maximizing the amount of fun you can have, and you're also progressing more and quicker and faster. Because yeah, I watch all the competitions, like every stop of the WSL. I'll have at least the finals day on. Some days I'll have every single day of the event on, just in the background while I do things. I listen to untold amounts of surf podcasts. I watch lots of videos, lots of album videos, Need Essentials, obviously a lot of John Florence and that sort of thing. And all in all, it's basically just creating this new brain for surfing, which is a good way to think about it, you know? Like, if you're starting later in life, the main disadvantage you have is your familiarity with the relationship between yourself, the board, and the wave. And that can only really be gained by time, but there's a few ways where you can hack that connection, whether it's through self-understanding or through putting yourself in critical situations or through just like extreme consistency and just going every day, or like as much as you can. I was lucky enough to have an opportunity to do all three, and that has been the way that I've got to the level I'm at right now. I also longboard a lot because here in like the Punta de Mita area of Mexico, there's a lot of longboard waves. Like even this wave is great on a longboard, and in doing so, it's taught me both ends of the spectrum, and it's a lot easier to turn a shortboard. So once you figure out turning a longboard, all this stuff is really easy. But this, when I watch this back here, one of my main issues is, like I said at the beginning, is me not committing my front foot forward or not putting enough weight on my front foot to dig the rail in the water more and do a better arc. And that's because I've been surfing 9.5s, 9.6s, 9.3s, and even some bigger boards than that. And on a board that big, you kind of have to turn like that, because if I were to put the rail line of a 10-foot board in this wave, by the time I finish my arc, I'm at the beach. Like the board's so much longer that if you draw an arc from the rail line in a circle, which is obviously how you're realistically going to turn, I'm going to go all the way out here and then back there, and I would definitely have lost the wave. All the board's just going to pull. So you kind of miss the timing, and you can maneuver it around by putting it more on the tail. But obviously that in shortboarding is a big disadvantage. But there's been many pluses like that I've learned from longboarding. My general recommendation to most people getting into it is, even if you want a shortboard, get a 9.6. If you're a girl and you're slightly lighter or a smaller frame, go for a 9.4. But 9.3 to 9.6, if you're really tall, go bigger. Only single fin, big 10-inch single fin in them all, and just stick with it. It's like, why wouldn't you? That is where surfing came from, and if you're gonna surf for the rest of your life, there'll be a day where you probably will be back on a longboard. So why not get the fundamentals down on one of them, catch waves way easier, and then work on developing the muscles to then be able to shortboard well. And in doing so, you'll figure out a lot about positioning, a lot about lineup. Every wave's going to be easier to serve. And then once you can turn a big 10-inch board and you can start moving up and down it, of course you can move your foot 20 centimeters and get it back to the tail, right? All those things become a lot easier when you surf different types of boards. I was lucky enough to start a surf company with a good friend of mine. And in doing so, we ended up with 30 boards. So I surfed every single one of them, liked some, didn't like some others, can surf them all pretty well now. But that just gave me this extreme opportunity to figure out all these different things, and what rockers, what this, what that, what works, what doesn't. And that's finally starting to really pay off. It's been fun the whole time, but it's not really translated to success in the water. Whereas right now, like, this is each session I'm surfing 5-10% better. I've got another video on the way about up and over rather than down and under. That, if I had to put my finger on one thing that's changed it all rather than surfing lefts, it would be that. And I think that's more important because at the end of the day, we're talking about going front side most of the time. That's what most people like. And that has been revolutionary. So yeah, with that being said, this is 40 minutes I've got to edit through to chop it all up and make it more digestible for you guys. I might just upload it as is and sacrifice the viewership for actual value provided. So if that's the case, so be it. I'm okay with that. But if not, either way, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. More videos on the way. This is the start of a very cool project. Like, I'm fascinated by surfing. I'm a student of the game. I study as much as I can, and I'm finally at a point where I'm comfortable to start sharing what's really been helping me and what I enjoy and why I think it's such an amazing, beautiful thing that we're able to do. So yeah, much love everyone. Keep it real. See you in the next one. Peace.